So lots of parents and carers want to know the best way that they can get their child ready for nursery. And as I've said quite a few times, all the children coming to us will be coming from really different starting points. So some of them may never have been away from their parents and carers before. Others may be really used to daycare. Others may have been with childminders. We know that they come from a lot of different backgrounds. So it really doesn't matter. They will all be settled in and made to feel as welcome and as comfortable as possible. And the main things that you can do to kind of help with this process is to show them some of the videos that I've spoken about, and just to have a lot of dialogue and talking at home about nursery, just to be starting to make it a familiar idea, maybe to have discussions at meal times about what they're looking forward to. And if you sense that they are worried, quite a good tip is to, rather than ask them, are you worried? Because sometimes that kind of plants a seed in a child's mind when they might not have been thinking it at all. It's sometimes good to reflect on your own concerns. So you can say, oh, I remember my mum says that when I started nursery, I felt I was a bit worried because I didn't know anybody, but then it was all okay. So it's quite good to sort of share experiences like that without putting your child on the spot and asking them, are you feeling X, Y, and Z? Also really good to try and help them to start practicing little things that help promote independence. So practicing putting shoes on and off, and it's really good to choose shoes for nursery that they can manage on their own. So Velcro or slip-ons are really good. Thinking about when they're finished with a toy, rather than just leaving it, to start thinking about where we put it, or where did it come from? Can we go back and put it where it was? If they're getting in from being out, rather than just giving you their coat or dumping their coat on the floor, which I know my children love to do, starting to say, oh, actually, look, there's the peg, shall we hang it up? And rather than just leaving their shoes in the middle, do they want to put them where their shoes live? I've talked lots about developing that kind of idea of speech and vocabulary, but another thing to think about when you're doing that is also that you're developing their listening skills. So to have a conversation, not only do you need to be able to talk, but you also need to be able to listen. And once they come to nursery, that kind of need to listen, to follow instructions, sometimes longer instructions with maybe more than one part. So put your bottles away and come and sit on the carpet, that sort of thing is really an important skill. So you can help develop that by playing simple fun games like Simon Says, or just going on a listening walk around the garden and saying, I've heard 5 things, can you guess what the 5 things I heard were? That sort of thing. An early awareness of sounds. So obviously we don't even start thinking about phonics till quite a lot later on, until their preschool term, so the term before they would then go into reception. But it never does any harm just to be pointing out the sounds you can hear. So if you sort of say, oh, we're having sausages, you can say, oh, sizzling sausages, sizzling in the pan, and say, oh, there were a lot of noises in that sentence. Just talking about it and pointing out what you can hear, not reading the sounds at this stage, but really what they sound like and what you can hear is really helpful. Again, also giving them that early foundation in number is so important too. So just counting everything you do, you know, we're going to have 3, I don't know, we're going to have 3 biscuits today, let's count them out, or there are 4 of us, so how many do we need? We need 1 each. Again, it's not so much about reading and recognising the numbers, it's about just having that idea of what number and quantity is and using it in everyday life. That's so important. So obviously I've said lots and lots of different ideas there, and I do realise it's lots to sort of take on board. So what I will do on the Early Years, Bisley Early Years Facebook page is each week I'll post some top tips which just give you a few ideas on how to help prepare your child to be as ready as they can be for nursery.